if I were to describe the start of the 2022 season to a Sixers fan from a few months ago, they would probably just start crying, because it sounds horrible. Joel Embiid is already missing time, and when he is playing, he does not look like his MVP self. He's very inefficient compared to previous years. He's just not playing like Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris currently has COVID, Danny Green has a hamstring issue, and not only have we still not traded Ben Simmons, but he is still refusing to play a single game for the team. Surely, this is a nightmare scenario for the Sixers. This is a bust season already. Everything's going wrong, right? Well, not exactly, because the Sixers are currently 6-2. They have the best offense in the NBA. Yes, the Sixers have the best offense in the entire league. And their defense is 14th, which gives them the number 4 net rating in the league. 6-2, bros. 6-2. This team is completely exceeding expectations compared to some of their circumstances. Why the hell is this? It is because the Sixers role players are stepping the hell up. I am a Sixers fan. I think you all know this at this point. And I really could not be happier with how the role players on this team are playing. Like I said, Joel Embiid is not playing well. He's only scoring 21 points a game, and he's only shooting 41% from the field. That is not very good, alright? 80% from the free throw line. He just doesn't look like himself. He doesn't look like himself. Now, I do believe he's going to get it together. I think it's just a rough start. But the point stands, Joel Embiid does not look like Joel Embiid. And for the last several seasons, that man has been the backbone of this team. When Embiid doesn't play well, the Sixers lose. That is the consistent theme with this team ever since he was drafted. It's really that simple. But despite how he's been playing, the rest of the team looks great. Harris just went out with COVID, but when he was playing, he's putting up 20 points a game, 54% shooting. He looks phenomenal. He's passing better than ever, and the team as a whole is passing better than ever. Everybody's putting up these career lows in turnovers, including Embiid. Players are just handling the ball and throwing it around really, really well. I don't know if it's Doc's offensive system or what's going on, but the players are passing great, and they look like a poor man's version of the Spurs. They really do. It is phenomenal. But let's move on from the stars. Ben Simmons is not playing. Harris is currently out. Joel Embiid's not playing well. Who else is stepping up? Well, Tyrese Maxey is now a starter for the Sixers, and he's putting up 14 points and 4 assists on 49% shooting. His three-pointers are still not falling too much, but they're going in just enough to keep the defenses honest. And when you've got arguably the fastest player in the entire NBA, it only takes a split second of hesitation for a defender for Tyrese to blow past them. He looks phenomenal. He's been great on defense. I love watching this kid play, and he is so much more freaking fun to watch than Ben Simmons. He really is. Sorry, it's the truth. Seth Curry, meanwhile, 17 points a game, 61% shooting, 54% from 3. He's a monster. Seth Curry is a freaking monster on offense. He has looked phenomenal. Honestly, the only complaint I have with Seth Curry is that he doesn't get enough touches. Doc Rivers seriously needs to draw this dude up some more plays because he is so incredibly efficient and incredibly good. He really should be taking like 15 shots a game at this point. I'm being completely honest. With how, poor Embiid has been playing this season, Curry needs more shots. It's just the truth. Matisse Thybulle, not amazing on offense. You kind of know what he does. Yes, he's shooting 51% from the field, but a lot of those are just dunks. But on defense, you all know what Matisse Thybulle does on defense, okay? This kid, clearly making another all-defense team this year. 3 steals, 2 blocks. He's playing amazing. And, even on offense, he does look better than he has in the last few seasons. He's cutting better. His three-pointers are going in a little bit more. He just looks like a better player than he has been, and I am so glad that he went to the Olympics because I really think that helped him out. Danny Green has not been playing too well. He's currently out with a hamstring issue, but he is still shooting very, very efficiently, even though he had those 3 god-awful air balls against the Nets last week. Despite that, He's still shooting very, very well. His defense has really fallen off, and he really just needs to come off the bench at this point. I think Danny Green could be a solid bench role player, but he should not be starting. In his place, we really need some more Furkan Korkmaz. Korkmaz is putting up 11 points and 3 assists, which I believe are both career highs for him, significantly. He's not shooting as good as you would want from the field, but I think when you look at his percentages, they don't show just how good he actually is. Korkmaz has been hitting big bucket after big bucket for this team throughout the first 8 games of the season. He's looked amazing. His defense is decent. There's no reason he shouldn't be starting over Danny Green. There really isn't. Absolutely no reason Doc should still be starting Green, other than the fact that he wants a veteran presence on the floor, but Korkmaz is just so much better, he needs to be starting. He just does. Shake Milton has come back from an injury. He's picking up where he left off, not last year, but in his rookie season, when he went off against the Nuggets. He's shooting well, he's driving to the basket. Shake Milton looks great. Andre Drummond has been everything you could possibly want. He doesn't score much, but defense and rebounding is what he does, and he does those things well. Not to mention, he's actually been really good as a passer this season. He's averaging 3 assists a game, which I assume is a career high for Andre Drummond. He's not known as a passer whatsoever, but he is getting the passes. Like, this dude is throwing really nice passes to his teammates. And last but not least, you may have never heard this man's name before. I had never heard this man's name before he joined my team, and so I had no expectations for him whatsoever. But Georges Niang may be the most underpaid player in NBA history, and I'm only exaggerating a little bit. For $3 million this season, he's on a minimum contract. Georges Niang is putting up 12 points a game, on 49% from the field, 44% from 3 on 6 attempts a game, and 88% from the free throw line. He drives, he shoots contested threes, he passes the ball well, he can bring the ball up the floor, he plays solid defense. I swear to God, I've never heard of this man before this season, but he is amazing. He's literally like a poor man's Tobias Harris, and it's not that poor of a man. He's almost as, he could absolutely be starting. 100%, he could be a starter. I have no idea how the Sixers signed this man for almost no money, but I am so incredibly happy that they did, because he is a freaking beast. I seriously considering getting his jersey. He's amazing. I swear, if you don't watch Sixers games, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. If you don't watch Sixers games, watch them just to learn who Georges Niang is. This man came out of absolutely nowhere, and he plays incredible. You would never know that this guy was on a minimum contract, and that 90% of NBA fans have never heard his name before. Georges Niang is a beast. The Sixers role players have been amazing. They're playing good on defense, they're switching well, they're passing well, everyone is shooting well, besides the star Joel Embiid. It is insane how good this team has been, considering the circumstances. Now, it's only 8 games in the season. They still had some bad losses earlier. They blew some big leads to the Nets. Their loss to the Knicks was not very good. But, I mean, they beat the Bulls last night without Tobias Harris, without Ben Simmons, without Danny Green, and without Joel Embiid even playing that well. They have looked absolutely fantastic considering their talent, considering their injuries, or their players who are just sitting out for, mental health issues. This team should not be as good as they are, and they are as good as they are because of their role players who are playing fantastic. I really hope the Sixers keep it up this season, and if Ben Simmons finally gets traded for someone decent, this team's going to be scary as hell. Thank you for watching.